Been a great day yesterday for South Americans. It was Brazil and Argentina that advanced. Germany, Sweden and Norway were unfortunate and didn't advance, but they were the two teams. Big day, big results for South America.
Yeah, the two Scandinavian nations there had a big battle on their hands from day one. We knew it was a tight group and it would have been a big shock if they'd got out the group. But Germany exiting was surprising. We expected Argentina to, probably as group winners, or Germany. But it was actually Brazil who won the group. In good style as well. 27 points, the second highest tally of anyone in the tournament after England, and a decent goal difference as well, so they did well.
And you mentioned the points tally there, that's important, England and Brazil, and keep in mind that as we change on 27 points for Brazil. Now look at this, Group D was wide open, absolutely wide open, so much so, Spencer, that Portugal, going into the last leg of the last round match, were in fourth. They scored a 90th minute winner, Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal as well, which saw them win the group. This was so tight, this group.
What's amazing about groups like this that have so many good teams and so much squad points shared is that often you get sort of lured into a false sense of security. You think these teams aren't that good, they're not going to go that far because they've dropped so many points in the group stage. Doesn't matter if you drop points, doesn't matter if you lose games, you just got to get over that dotted line and through to knockout stages, because we've seen both those guys who squeezed through, Portugal and Denmark, get through their quarterfinals still in the tournament, which is massive.
Yeah, and this is what happened in the quarterfinals. So following on from the group stage, that meant England against Argentina, Mexico played Denmark, Brazil, France and Portugal played Spain. So here is some of the action from those quarterfinals. And again, Spencer, we saw a lot of late drama in the quarterfinal stage.
Yeah, we did, and one of the big shocks was England-Argentina. Argentina, a very strong team. It started off in England's favour. Nicolas, who expected to win his game, was actually a draw, which meant all Tekkz had to do, who's the current #1 ranked player in the world, was win his game and England were through. Draw and it goes to 2v2, but he didn't, he lost. England got knocked out, Argentina stayed through. France came out on top versus Brazil, of course. Penalty shootout in the game between Portugal and Spain. You can see what winning the Iberian derby meant to the Portuguese players there. And of course we had Denmark, Mexico, Denmark squeezing their way through on that one as well. Went to 2v2.
Yeah, so this is what it meant. Argentina defeating England. Big shock, Tekkz losing, as I say in that one. Argentina advanced from that, and Denmark advancing against Mexico, which means Argentina will play Denmark in our first semi-final. The other quarterfinals saw France defeating Brazil and Portugal defeating Spain. So France will play Portugal. So some mouth-watering ties to look forward to in the semis.
Yeah, 3 European teams left, and we've got a repeat, actually, the European Championship final from a few years ago between France and Portugal. And of course Argentina, Denmark. You'd be looking at Argentina as strong contenders now, along with France. I'd say they're obviously anything can happen. We've seen a few surprises, but I'd say they're in the driving seat to win this tournament now.
Yeah, so those are the semi-finals we've got to look forward to. Let's just look back and react to those, because Portugal have had so much late drama. There was the goal that took them through from the group stage, and then Portugal had the goal, the penalty shootout as well. So I mean, I've just seen some of the Portuguese players. I think they need to just take a moment just to sort of relax and keep themselves composed, because so much late drama for the Portuguese.
Well, your question is, can they keep going through that and coming out on top? Because it does take its toll on you after a while. You know, they were, I think, 3rd or 4th in their group before that last-minute goal took them to top of their group in the group stage. Going through on penalties, we know it's a lottery, could have easily gone to Spain. In this case, it was Portugal. Ironically, Cristiano Ronaldo scoring the winning penalty for them. But now they've got to go up against France. Different beast in France. Look a lot better than the France of yesterday. You've got DaXe and Maestro, two players who are two of the better players in the world right now in their respective consoles. So if Portugal get through that one, fair play to them.
Go on then, I'm going to ask you, can't sit on the fence, Spencer. 4 teams remaining, 4 strong teams. Prediction, please.
For a winner?
Go on.
France.
I think France. You stuck with France throughout, haven't you?
I said France or Germany at the start. Obviously, Germany went out. France squeezed their way through. They did enough. They're the reigning world champs at the World Cup. Why not do it here at the eNations?
Why not? We will see. And we're almost ready to go for our semi-final stages. Let's have over to our casters, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And here we go then. This is the semi-final stages at the FIFA eNations Cup. 20 nations came here yesterday from all over the world, and now we have our final 4 and our 2 semi-finals, Richard, which we have to add, you were speaking about Argentina, they've made a semi-final.
Yeah, I fancied Argentina from the get-go, really. They've got the #1 player on the PlayStation in the world in Nicolas, and people were sleeping on Yago. People were like, oh, I'm not too sure. He's an unbelievable player. What I think people were putting on Twitter just in a little bit then, on the Argentina versus England game, no one's really been able to stop Tekkz from scoring. He just kept a clean sheet. Granted, it was one leg, but Yago's defending against Tekkz was unbelievable. If he can carry on doing that, I'm expecting Argentina big performances.
Exactly that indeed. Well, before we jump in to this semi-final, can everybody be performing really well?
Yeah, performing very well. Two players were also performing very well. That Denmark roster, one of the best nations in FIFA history. Two players have won the FIWC Championship from that nation, MoAuba and Aga, and now they're looking to add an eNations Cup to that roster with their team of Marcuzo and FIFA Üstün.
They are indeed. So without further ado, again, we are going to go and head over to the national anthem of Denmark. There we have it. Argentina against Denmark. This is going to be your first semi-final from the FIFA eNations Cup. A huge moment for these FIFA players. The first to represent their country in an international tournament. They've been really impressive as well. We spoke a lot about Argentina, but that Danish team, you said it perfectly. Two world champions previously. They've got Aga here with them supporting. Unfortunately, not part of that team, but still an influential character that's been to big tournaments, had experience there. MoAuba as well, another Danish world champion. He'll be supporting from home. He'll be watching his fellow countrymen. But this is what they're playing for. A prize pot worth $100,000 in just a few hours' time. One nation, alongside being crowned the first ever FIFA eNation Cup winners, they'll pick up $40,000. The runner-ups will get $20,000, and it'll go down from there, $8,000 and $3,000. And alongside that, some really important global series ranking points, which, as you say, Richard, is pretty much your currency this year for competitive FIFA.
Yeah, it is. That's what these going to buy your way into the tournaments in the latter stages of the year. You're not only playing for the points and the money, but the national pride. You saw it there, especially with that Danish national anthem. Singing the heart out was the coach. That's what you love to see. That's how much it means to these nations. And this semi-final, a little bit of FIFA history. FIFA 18, the FIWC finals in the O2 Arena. What was the semi-final? Marcuzo versus Nicolas. A rematch, nearly a year on, in another semi-final, in another major tournament. You're not playing for your club this time, you're playing for your nation. It was Marcuzo victorious against Nicolas back in August last summer. Who is going to be victorious this time? Argentina or Denmark?
As always, the format will stay the same. We'll kick off on PlayStation, so Nicolas against Marcuzo. Then go over to our Xbox game. But as we've already seen, we don't always need to go to the 2v2. If the first game, obviously, is a clean sweep, if they win their first two matches in the 1v1, we won't need that 2v2 game to decide. But speaking of which, in a knockout format, Denmark have experienced that extra game. They did it against Mexico, and they picked up a big result as well.
On paper, you've got 4 PlayStation 4 players here, in all honesty, given how the preferred console for these players are. You can see it there on your screen. Who will be playing on the PlayStation, who will be playing on the Xbox for these two rosters. It will be Nicolas versus Marcuzo on the PlayStation. On the Xbox, Yago, who knocked out Tekkz and England. His performance did it for Argentina versus Üstün, a top 10 player in the world. And then Nicolas and Yago versus Marcuzo and Üstün, if we have to go to a 2v2.
It'll be amazing if we will. Obviously, one of our 2 semi-finals here in London of this afternoon. Marcuzo kicking us off first against Nicolas. A point to talk about as well is that the fact that Üstün and Yago, both PlayStation players at heart, that's where they've kicked off, that's where they've been used to playing with on the Global Series rankings. They've been moved over to Xbox, and they've both had to perform well, and everyone's been talking about Nicolas of Argentina. What can he do? How good is he? Can he carry this Argentina team? He hasn't needed to. Yago has been fantastic, and he went and beat F2 Tekkz.
I just spoke to Nicolas after that quarter-final result, and he actually said, I'm getting carried right now. I'm getting carried by Yago in this performance and in this tournament. But Nicolas was at the FIWC 2018 finals. Let's have a look back to August, how MS DaXe was victorious in the O2 Arena.
It's a huge opportunity.
Oh, 100%. And I think it can't be understated that the amount of, you'd say, pressure that the players put on themselves, because you're representing a nation. You're being put forward as the best player from that nation to bring it home almost, whether that be for Argentina, for Denmark, for France or Portugal. These are the final four, and this is where it really kicks into another gear. Who will be the inaugural eNations champion? Argentina versus Denmark is your first semi-final. The second semi-final, France versus Portugal. One winner, one nation. Who will be the champion?
What a story for Denmark. 17 points was enough to take them through. There was lots of doubts about it. Will it be enough? Will it take them through? And obviously we saw how both Group B and D ended with Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo being the hero. They're still in the competition. They're still in the semi-final. Kind of reminds you back to that Euro performance where they just scraped through the group somehow and then just kept on going forward. As you said, they're playing against France, who had to pray, had to wait for Finland to save them, to, again, take them into the knockout stage. And it was like they were just brought back to life a little bit.
Really, when you look at it, the only nation who had a comfortable group stages in the Final Four was Argentina. France had to rely on Finland to take points away from Saudi Arabia. Portugal, last kick of the game, Cristiano Ronaldo sent them through. And Denmark, they did what they needed to do yesterday. They picked up as many points as they could, and that was enough to send them through by the skin of their teeth.
Well, here we go then. The first semi-final here at the FIFA eNations Cup. It's Argentina against Denmark. And it's Nicolas against Marcuzo. If you don't know who Nicolas is, they call him the Iceman. Represents FC Basel outside this competition. #1 on the PlayStation rankings. Doesn't show much emotion, but shows a lot of FIFA quality. Marcuzo, on the other hand, you said it perfectly, a console finalist at the grand final last year. Lost out to Stefano Pina, who was the runner-up to MS DaXe. It's going to be Marcuzo getting us underway. Pass, David De Gea as well. And the first goal in the game without a cricketer in sight either.
First blood strikes to Marcuzo. Lovely pass there past the goalkeeper. De Gea just completely taken out of the equation. And it was Neymar to slot in from very close range. We've got a maximum of 3 games that could be played here. But for example, if one team, if Argentina win the first game, all they need is a draw, minimum, to take them through. If they win the second game, they will be certainly through. If they draw the second game, they will still be through. A win and a draw is enough. If it's 2 wins apiece for either side, we go to a 2v2 decider. If it's 2 draws, we go to a 2v2 decider.
We'll explain it along the way as we move through those 3 matchups. If we need to go to a third game, Nicolas tried to just flick up with the rainbow flick there on the far-hand side with Cristiano Ronaldo, currently 1-0 down. The Argentine, is he going to respond? Of course he is. What a game we have in front of us. 2 goals in 10 minutes. And it's just the start of a huge, huge semi-final.
1 versus 45 on the global series rankings.
مش لاقي حاجة أقولها.
Nicolas from
العيال
Argentina, he's number 1.
أهدافهم عجيبة.
On the PlayStation. But Marcuzo has been hitting a lovely bit of form recently and a good performance at the FUT Champions Cup. Number 6.
Which actually moved him from 78th in those rankings, Richard, up to 45th. So in the playoffs, but now turn that attention towards a grand final spot. We don't know how many points will get you there, but we've been predicting 2,200, even more. Definitely more for PlayStation players with all the tournaments that are there as well.
شو
Marcuzo now, we know he's got a flair element to his game, and he's going to score again. He's been gifted a treat. And Mbappe's going to grab it with both hands. And 13 minutes in here, we've seen 3 goals. I know this is only a one-legged game, and sometimes you can see some crazy performances, some crazy comebacks, but how about this for a crazy 15 minutes?
Yeah, De Gea's had a 15 minutes from hell, really. He's had 2 chances that really on another day should be saved. The first one, the ball, a through ball taken out of the equation. That one, you're expecting your goalkeeper to come out and collect that.
That's twice now, David De Gea. He got a through ball played past him in the first goal, and that one just dragged out. I don't know if he wanted to collect the ball or not, instead went through his legs.
Marcuzo looks fresh in this game right now. Nicolas, like he said, he's not been playing well. He said it himself. He's been struggling in a one-legged format.
Ronaldo, scoop turn into Neymar. Cricketa central! Nearly his goal as well, goes up for the corner. Marcuzo looks on fire right now. Van Dijk with a header. In his head, Marcuzo will probably be thinking back to that grand final.
Yeah, I seem to remember it. It was quite a cagey game, that one, over 2 legs. Quite a defensive performance from Marcuzo, which saw him seal the victory in the semi-final at the FIWC 2018 finals.
And he went to extra time against Pina, which was an end-to-end matchup. Accelerated fake shot, cuts inside, went for a dummy. Ronaldo does get pushed over, but the ball was miles away at that
الحكم
point.
ما
I think
حسبش
he's holding that
حاجة.
one actually there to finesse that, and it's come down as a no-touch turn in the end from Marcuzo. Let the ball roll through his legs. If they tap our one just as the ball's coming to you, that's what the animation will do.
Nicolas now have a chance to respond to Marcuzo.
لا يا راجل.
Trying to move away from his man. Hullet lost out on the header there. Read Hullet wearing the Danish kit for Marcuzo to pick that ball up. Another big factor that all these players will be feeling as well, that all those people in that nation want to be in this position right now. They want to be representing their country. Of course, you know you're going to be those 2 players. You're going to get a lot of support, but there'll be pros out there that will want to be in your shoes. And if you're not picking up performances, we've seen changes before. We've seen changes in rosters. You look at the French team, that's changed every year. They change it around. All about form. Marcuzo and Üstün. Maybe they are rivals in the eSuperliga week in, week out, but right now they're teammates. They've been put
Boss?
together. They love scoring goals.
يا
They love
راجل.
attacking. Straight through the group, 17 points. The group full of draws was Group D.
الهبد ده اللي هيخسرك يا نيكولاس.
Cricketa or 2 or 3 or 4. How many more does Marcuzo want to do?
A little bit of a snapshot on the edge of the box. Could have had maybe a touch to settle that.
He's so prominent. He loves using that skill move.
I think he was struggling for quite a long time as well, Marcuzo, in adapting to FIFA 19. It seems as though that's sort of his comfort blanket, that Cricketa. That's something that he knows is effective. He knows he can utilise it in good areas, especially when you'll see him do it when he's one-on-one with the defender, where he can isolate a player out of position. So as soon as you get into that box, nobody's manually tackling you. No one's running the risk of giving a penalty away.
To R9. Trying to force that ball through to the ongoing runner of Hullet. For Nicolas.
يجري.
Comes Marcuzo again. Now defensively, there's so many
لف.
for Nicolas and Marcuzo.
يا راجل.
Every single one of them runs out of play that time. He knows that's a big mistake.
So Alex Telles in at left back for Nicolas. I mean for Marcuzo, I should say. An interesting pick over likes of Marcelo, Alexandro.
And Alexandro at the back as well on the left-hand side for Nicolas. So no Marcelo in use. No likes of Maldini being pushed out there or Hullet. Even Van Dijk, I should say. Not Marcelo, we do see back to goal. Nicolas will respond. Never give him a sniffer goal.
I heard a reaction from the Argentina booth. I thought Nicolas had broke character almost and gave us a big reaction. It was Yago behind him. He was doing the shouting for Nicolas.
Being the story of the competition. Yago, a very emotional player. Maybe that national pride is pouring out from him every time he scores a goal or picks up a huge result. He's always been called the Iceman, Nicolas. Holds that emotion in. We rarely see it unless he's picking up a check or a trophy. Think back to the playoffs last year in Amsterdam where we finally saw that outpour of emotion from Nicolas. It really hit him of how good of a player he was. Carried it over to this year. Picked up a number of LQE victories for himself. Console finals. Yet to get a FUT Champions Cup under his belt though.
It's one thing he's missing really, alongside a FIWC trophy.
Being added time. Period of at least 3 minutes. Will win a throw in Marcuzo. Just the chance to see himself out into the half. Get a break, have a word with Üstün or your coach. Or potentially have to defend this attack from Nicolas, moving it really well. The Argentine saved it to his net as well. A guessing game with the goalkeeper movement. And lucky enough for Nicolas, he gets the right way. Zidane still couldn't claw it out of his net.
A little build-up play on the edge of the box. He's liquid from Nicolas. One touch passing, give and go. He went the right way with David De Gea, he just couldn't get there. Kylian Mbappe strike, had enough on it, and he saw it into the back of the net. And on the stroke of half-time, the perfect time to score for the Argentine. Gives him a narrow lead, 3 goals to 2.
There we go, he can laugh.
Formation on screen here from Marcuzo. Rolling with a 4-3-1-2, which is quite interesting. We'll talk a little bit about that when the game does resume. But these were the goals in that first half, 5 in total.
Not a bad first 45 minutes in this semi-final on the PlayStation leg. That was the first goal. Not like a through ball past the keeper for David De Gea. Nicolas responded minutes after. Tried to attempt a rainbow flick, but then I thought, okay, what's going to happen from here? Ramos played into Vieira, went round the edge of the box, into R9, and straight into the right-hand top corner from Mbappe in the end.
No mistake from Mbappe. So consistent in and around the box. 99 composure. 99 finishing. He's clinical in that area.
Marcuzo, he was fantastic going forward. Yes, there was a mistake once or twice there from De Gea. That one went through the legs, but in that first half we saw so many attacks from Marcuzo.
2 goals inside 6 minutes for Nicolas. Shows how quickly a game can change in FIFA. Ball gets played back out of the box, I should say, out of the danger area to Ruud Gullit. You'll often see players play out and then play back in. Quite a risky switch of play from Van Dijk. That's where the chance came from. Nicolas capitalised with both hands.
Liquid football as well, wasn't it, from the Argentine? Being finished off perfectly by Kylian Mbappe at the break. As we said, these are one-legged matchups. We play a PlayStation match and an Xbox match. That's the minimum amount of games we will play. If we need to play that last game as well, depending on both games are a draw or each team both wins a game. It's been the same format throughout the group stages. Now we're into that semi-final area. 3 or 4 cricketers again. You know what we're talking about.
It's a skill move. And the ball just moves from left foot to right foot. That one right there.
I'd love to see a cricketer count in a game. He would probably do the most out of any player. He's been known for it. The cricketer king. Whether it's at North, whether it's in the E-Superliga of Copenhagen. Whether it's for Denmark. Here at the FIFA eNations Cup. Here comes Nicolas again. Be moving it so well when he attacks forward. As far as Ronaldo, ball roll or 2. Cricketer or 2 as well.
Yeah, Nicolas has got that in his locker as well. Don't count him out.
Such an important skill move that can help.
You have to have it. You have to have an array of a smattering of skill moves. An El Tornado, and a Lacqueta, and Lastico now coming into the fray more and more. ball roll, drag back combination. These just have to be ingrained on the brain.
And used at the right time as well. In the right areas. Even this far out, he's bringing them into play. Nearly 60 minutes into this game. Slight advantage to Nicolas. Did draw against Tom from England in that last match up there and had to pray that Yago could go and do the job, and he did it against F2 Tekkz.
It's a clearance that his goalkeeper to...
Look at that run as well.
Just
little ding, Mbappe's at the back post, went for it.
Within 3 passes there, he's gone from goalkeeper to striker. If the final ball would have been accurate, he's in on goal.
Big switch of play from Modric to Alexander, the choice at left back for Nicolas. Mbappe with that little dink into the box. Ronaldo was there, R9 was there too. Nothing more than just a shot into David De Gea's hands. Will win a corner. And what can he do from it? Has he moved anyone in the box? Can we see that? Just looking across now. Played short, Modric with a flick on. Acrobatic effort from Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that was Ramos on the line. By the front post, had to just clear it away. Non-stop pressure at the moment. There's Marcuzo, most of the attacks in the first half.
Look at this chance right now. You can see it's Eusebio making a movement on the top
Olivier
side of the
Mark.
screen. Ball turns over there. That's what Patrick Vieira's in the team for. Such a unit. A workhorse in midfield. You'll see the ball get turned over. Whether it's through Hully, Luka Modric, Vieira at that centre mid CDM position. One of the most instrumental positions on the pitch. It's so important to have a good player in that position. I think I'd rather have a 94 Hully in midfield and a gold striker up top.
Now to Neymar, Croqueta all free. Defended well by Van Dijk. Falls back to Vieira in the right place, right time. Step over into the shot, short in the rebound. What a save! Huge save by team of the year, David De Gea.
Nicolas's goalkeeper movement is up there with the best that I've seen on this game. He did the exact same against Tom last kick of the game. Tom dinked it to the back post. He had a bicycle kick volley towards the goal, and Nicolas manually moved him all the way to the left-hand side. He took the risk. Not only does it show that he's willing to take the risk, but it shows that he's learnt the game to such an extent that he knows where the shot from the certain position on the pitch, the best possible chance of where it's going to go in the goal. If you're on a certain angle, most of the time, if you play a lot of FIFA, you know that that ball's going to go across the goal. You know the tendencies of a lot of FIFA players. Now, it tends to be near post. You're going to move him to the near post. It's just going to happen.
And also, to anyone at home that might not understand the mental side of that, he would have to predict that.
Yeah.
You know, he's picturing the match scenarios in his head, Nicolas, and he's just chosen one of many options to go with. He's matched up with the shot. And a huge save in the end from David De Gea. Does go out for a corner. Now can Marcuzo capitalise on this? Plays short to Eusebio into a drag back. Attempted the scoop turn, but it will be Nicolas Eusebio happy to just drop back and defend for him. A little chip away, unfortunately. Bullet can't get on the end of that for Marcuzo. It will be Nicolas's. Marcuzo just collecting the ball for him. Obviously, Ruud Gullit, one of the key players in many teams. Can he fake shot away? Croqueta, two into the shot, just wide of the goal.
Saw that, just whistle past the post there. As it was arrowed towards the near post from Marcuzo.
Not going to get many more of them. Those big chances. He looks back to the two he had now. The huge save from David De Gea. Now he could be chasing this game. Could it be 4-2? Is this the chance to let Nicolas go back in front?
Don't know if you remember, but last year Nicolas was a huge fan of Team of the Year, Luis Suarez. It seems as though
Has he got a replacement this year?
it looks like it's Eusebio up top for him.
That's been a pause cued by Denmark. And Marcuzo, 10 minutes left.
He's a player that's not afraid to go in against the grain almost, is Nicolas.
His own style is something that he implements. It's hard to really kind of put your finger on what he does.
Yeah, I think it's just a jack of all trades, in all honesty. He can keep the ball so well and hold possession like you've seen a perfect example of now on your screen, but also going forward, it's just so clinical. He rarely misses chances at all. In the final third, sometimes you'll see players, just like that one from Marcuzo then, went past the post. It seems as though Nicolas, the error on his chances is like 0%. He rarely ever misses. He'll always hit the target, he'll always force corners.
He always ensures that every single chance he has is either a goal or, as you said, win a corner, or at least keep in possession. I guess that's what's the consistency of a player like he is. Standout player on PlayStation. So many major tournaments. Remember when we first saw him at FIWC, I think we saw him really spring up in that London tournament at Westminster, where Grillo obviously went and won that. Cuts back over. Not really troubling De Gea at all. Tried to get it to the back post for Eusebio, added time. And he's seconds away, Nicolas, from getting a huge win on the board. He might not have been able to do it against England in his PlayStation game against Tom. But he's repaid the favour for Yago and got them under to a winning way in the semi-finals.
Just saw both sets of the formations there. You can see it on the screen. A 3-4-2-1 out for Marcuzo, that is. For Denmark, Argentina. Rolling with a 4-2-3-1 second variation, a defensive formation. Shut up shop for Nicolas. Get that win and give Yago the opportunity to send you through with only playing 2 matches. It's a draw is good enough.
Yep.
If you win the first match.
You can see the pressure. The custom tactics being changed for Denmark. They've got one attack. And that's if they can get the ball back first, because Nicolas has got it. He will not be letting go of it anytime soon. Seconds remain. Argentina 3-2 up. 3-2 to the good. He's won it back. Marcuzo to maybe pick up a draw. If he can keep possession here. Eusebio on the edge of the box. Oh no! Time green again and somehow steal wide of the goal. That was the chance.
Nicolas has rode his luck in his games on the PlayStation. It's as simple as that. Against Tom, last kick of the game, should have conceded. Against Marcuzo right there. How that's gone wide, I will never know, but it's Nicolas, advantage Argentina after the first game in this semi-final series.
In disbelief. Yeah, 2 of those shots as well. We have to add 2 time green shots. You can laugh about it now, Marcuzo. It all falls down to Üstün. If Üstün can win, his game will go to a 2v2 deciding matchup. But you can see that he's looking. He's going, how is that not gone? And we're going to have a look at some of those chances now. When they're time green, it normally means it's good. Green means go, green means on target, and sometimes it means a goal.
He can laugh on the outside, but he's crying inside right now, is Marcuzo. That's such a big opportunity to get a draw and to just give Üstün the opportunity to send you through. If Üstün beats Yago, they go through if he wins that, if he even draws that game.
That puts pressure onto Yago, maybe pressure that he's not used to yet. This was the other chance that just plays wide. Eusebio.
That other one, on his right foot. Yeah, he might have 5-star weak foot, but on your right foot, you expect that to go in. You've aimed it near post, and the last chance of the game. The ball turned over, it came to Eusebio again. 12 yards out, wide of the post.
In the end, it did finish 3-2 for Argentina. They have the slight advantage after the first PlayStation game, Richard. And it was an impressive performance in the end for Nicolas. When Nicolas had a chance, he took it. It was simple as that.
Yeah, it wasn't textbook Nicolas, but he got over the line in the end. Advantage Argentina. Yago simply has to draw. A draw is good enough to send Argentina through to the inaugural eNations Cup finals.
Well, that is the PlayStation leg. Already done and dusted. We'll have the Xbox game coming up after this short break. Do not go anywhere. Argentina against Denmark coming up there. Welcome back to the FIFA eNations Cup here live in London. We've just had our first semi-final. The PlayStation leg concluded between Nicolas and Marcuzo, in which Nicolas just pinched it 3-2. Next up, we'll have our Xbox game, Yago against Üstün. But slight advantage at this moment in time to Argentina, Richard.
I'm still in disbelief how Marcuzo's not come away with a draw in that game. 2 chances, both time green from Eusebio in the last, 15 minutes of the match. Both go wide of the goal. Didn't even hit the target. We'll have a look how that first game did actually end up in favour of Argentina. Let's have a look at the goals and the highlights of that matchup. It was Denmark getting us underway early doors inside the first 5.
It was indeed, and it was a really attacking first 45 minutes from Marcuzo. He did go 1-0 up, he conceded just a few minutes after. We saw this one, the rainbow flick came in, it was blocked in the end. Just a simple move here, played back inside, Ramos to Vieira, into Ronaldo, and straight into the top corner from Mbappe, who was really the hero for this game, and especially for Argentina.
Straight away, there's no delay in the attacking motion here from Marcuzo. Played onto the edge of the box, CR7, lovely drag back, look for that run from Mbappe. Very fortunate how the ball bounced to him inside the box. Smashes it past the goalkeeper. That was the last goal that Marcuzo did score in this matchup. It was Nicolas from here on out.
This was R9 coming forward for him.
He's not afraid to go backwards.
And this goal was great. Same side of the goal again for Mbappe. But this goal here is incredible from Nicolas. This is prime Nicolas here. Look at the space and how quickly he moved the ball. Ronaldo to Mbappe. Hat-trick hero within the first half as well for the Frenchman.
That was how the game did finalise. 3-2 for Argentina against Denmark. Near post for Mbappe. The goalkeeper movement wasn't even that rash, in all honesty, from Marcuzo. Just a placement of the strike from Mbappe did enough. And that is how the game did finalise. 3-2 Argentina. Üstün is now in a must-win game. It's as simple as that. If he draws, if he loses, Denmark go out. It's in Üstün's hands. Win, we go to a 2v2. Any other result, Denmark go out and Argentina go through to the final.
Well, Üstün will know this. Üstün is a man for a big game. Let's go back to Paris last year, around this kind of time, Easter time, was it April or May or so? It was a FIFA E-Club World Cup, another big tournament part of the FIFA 18 Global Series at the time. Üstün had to come back, 4 goals or so against the first game that Fredberg played. He did that, and he came back in style with scoring so many goals. He's a man that's known for attacking, a man known for scoring unbelievable goals. Let's go and have a look at, once again, back at that first game that Marcuzo was involved in. The chances that he missed, because they were time green, and then the other day, they would probably fly into the back of the net.
Yeah, you see this one first, CR7, lovely double step over there. Fell to the, 8 yards out, an unreal save from Dani De Gea. The goalkeeper movement proving strong for Nicolas there. Header comes back his way. Modric picks up the ball in midfield, plays that central midfield in a 4-3-1-2 formation. Is Marcuzo. Just whiskers past the post. He knows that was an unbelievable opportunity. And then 90th minute, ball falls to Eusebio.
So much time left. He gets the ball here on the edge of the box. He had to play a guessing game first of all with Van Dijk. Which way is he going to go? Timed it green.
He's done nothing wrong there.
He hasn't, yeah.
The ball's just gone past the post.
Another day, that flies into the back of the net. And as we said, in the end, Nicolas did get that result. 3-2. Roles reversed now for Nicolas. He'll have to sit back and watch his teammate Yago play on the Xbox against Üstün. That's kicking off very shortly. And then we'll have our second semi-final from the FIFA eNations Cup. France against Portugal. We saw the scenes in Group D, didn't we, Richard, when Portugal just about qualified in the 90th minute. And what game that was?
Yeah, Portugal won the Euros in 2016, and they didn't play well at all throughout that tournament. France versus Portugal coming up very shortly indeed. We'll have the second leg of Argentina versus Denmark after this very short commercial.
Blocked. تمام.
shot from there and saved away for a corner.
It's the confidence that you're playing with, shooting on angles like that.
Scooped all the way across. R9 was there, Messi was there, unfortunately winning that one in the air. That would have been a story if the Argentine and Messi was to step up and put them 3-0 up.
62% possession, 2 goals. I think Üstün's registered a shot on target.
It's a tough position to be in. The pressure's on you. The whole nation to get yourself through to a huge final. The first ever FIFA Nations Cup. History is being made in every single round, every single game that's being played. Into half-time, where we'll be getting a few words from Marcuzo and his coach. Not 3-0 down. It is. And it's going to be Neymar that scores this. And in the words of a fellow FIFA esports commentator, Dan Gaskin, Houston, we have a problem.
Dancing around Üstün right there was Yago. Just look at the... You just can't put it into words how impressive Argentina have been. Running out of superlatives to describe this performance. And it's not from Nicolas, the man that we're talking about. It's from Yago. Yago has been the star of the show. He's been the Lionel Messi of Argentina at the FIFA eNations Cup.
Coming into it, you speak about Argentina, everyone's saying Nicolas this, Nicolas that, Nicolas is going to carry. Yago has been superb.
Yeah, he's pulled his weight and some now.
And if anything, he's pulled Nicolas along with him at times and said, right, you might be #1 ranked in the world. You might have achieved all this and won all these trophies, but this is for our nation. We're in this together.
You still see the talk between the two players, giving feedback right now, chatting. Argentina.
What are you saying to Houston right now? If you're a coach, I'm throwing you in there.
No one's saying anything, in all honesty. He knows what he has to do. There's not going to be a coach who can come in and tell him what he has to do. He knows what he has to do, and that's play the FIFA Üstün style of play that we know he can. He's got 45 minutes to score 4 goals. Is it possible? Yes. Will he do it? Probably not.
And we see miracles happen in big tournaments. But it's still a draw, Richard. A draw will still send Argentina into that final. That's why I can see where you're coming from, because 3 goals from what we've seen in that first half just doesn't look like it's going to happen, especially if Yago goes and gets a 4th. And if he goes all attacking, if he puts 3 at the back, there's going to be gaps that are going to appear.
He went 3-4-1-2, did Üstün.
Show us a bit of that flair, Üstün. This is massive now for Denmark. Parried away by Dani. No idea why he's parried that one away. Chipped up, crossed over. Surely that's going to be a goal off the bar. And sometime when your luck's not in.
It's just not falling for Üstün right now. You can see how exposed he is at the back as well. Yago coming forward. He's got no rush to go forward as the Argentinian.
No, it could be 4. R9's got a bit of space. Chip ball to R9. Stopped and turned on the ball. He thought it was game over, did Yago.
Seems like everything just going wrong. You said the defenders falling over each other. The chances you're creating, hitting the post, hitting the bar.
Van Dijk at the back post. Ended it downwards. Just wide of Dani's goal. For a goal kick now for Denmark. But if that chance goes in,
It's game
it
on.
sparks something. We've all been there. If you play FIFA casually or competitively, when you're 3-0 up and you can see that first goal, that bit of doubt, that seed of doubt just gets planted in your mind. If he can get a 4th, it will certainly be over. Scooped up into the cross. R9 was there, headed away again.
But until Argentina knocked out England, they weren't really getting talked about too much. It were more about England, Portugal. They were the ones making the noise.
But sometimes it's
France
good,
making the noise.
If people aren't talking about you, you don't have that extra pressure.
They went under the radar. And then they knocked England out. They said, that was an exclamation point on their performance. We are here, and we are looking to win the FIFA eNations Cup. 3-0 up with 30 minutes left to go.
Australia looking forward to that.
FIFA Üstün needs a miracle. He's good enough to do it, that's the thing.
Australia looking forward to that. Australia drew a lot.
Back to Neymar, needs a bit of hope, needs a bit of luck to just fall his way. Eusebio into a shot. Defensively, he's been superb, Jago. Oh no, this time, he does score eventually. How many time green shots does it take to get one on target or get one into the back of the net for Denmark? Just need a slice of luck.
3 goals in 30 minutes needed to force a 2v2 situation. It's not out of the realms of impossible. That's why at half-time I said probably not. I didn't say it weren't going to happen. I've seen FIFA Üstün turn games over in remarkable,
Well, it's a good time to score, isn't it?
almost impossible situations before, and he's done it. If there's one man that he put at the helm to steer this ship to a 2v2 game, it is FIFA Üstün.
1-9, finally got a goal. 63 minutes on the clock. All the pressure paid off for him. He did get a goal, still needs 2 more. Jago, an emotional player. Jago, a young player still. He's been around the scene for a while, but maybe lacking that extra tournament experience, the big tournaments in the end. If he can score again, I'll be quiet because that will be game over. But if Üstün can start building into something, fake shot into a scuff shot. No one knew what's happened there. Üstün's just saying, someone at the back, take control, please.
Put a name on it. He needs just somebody on the pitch to take this game by the scruff of the neck.
Otherwise, Jago's just going to be laughing. He's going to keep the ball, see out the match. And he's done so well in that first half. He scores again now, it'll be over. It'll be a grand final for Nicolas and Jago. And Argentina, the first team in that grand final. They'll be waiting for France or Portugal. Ramos, superb at right back. It's like his new position now.
Defending has been so solid. He was solid against Tekkz for the majority of the game. Only a couple of times Tekkz looked dangerous. In this game,
Üstün, there's the chance. Oh, driven.
A mix of goalkeeper movement and last-ditch defending. He's seeing Argentina potentially over the line. You can see the custom formation there and the custom tactics. 4-2-3-1, drop back. On the other side of it, 3-4-1-2. All out attack. Everyone get forward. Give me a hero.
Holding out for something. We'll win a corner.
Portugal, Australia, looking forward to that.
Still trailing 3 goals to 1. A draw or a win would send Argentina into the final. Has to be a win from Denmark. Neymar all the way across to Ronaldo. No trouble at all. Game management is everything now. Probably the biggest game he's ever had to play for Jago.
Ramos winning that header again. At right back, he just seems good.
Just been pushed,
like the
he's
best
been pushed
option.
out there. He's just there now. He's just out right back. Every single event, every single tournament.
Quite erratic defending though.
Back to goal. I don't know if he
tackles.
needed that fake shot with Üstün. Thought he could just pivot and turned and just hit it.
Seems nervous, does Jago. I think that's something to mention right now. Clearing the ball, he's not keeping hold of possession very well at all.
This could be game over. Eusebio, he's through. Does win. No, goes up for a goal kick in the end. Just 10 minutes now, 3 goals, Richard. I just can't see it. The defensive performance that we have seen from Jago so far. And those are the tackles that are going to help him along the way as well. Just, yes, it'll be a yellow card.
He's too far out, really, to have any sort of danger from passing short and working something into the box. But it's too close to be able to pass it around.
Messi, Ronaldinho scoops down through the legs of Ramos, picks it up again. It's not going to matter.
You just run into a wall, really, when you get free kicks in that sort of area, unless you don't put it into the box, which isn't a valid strategy, really.
Ronaldinho, again, another save, De Gea. Another block, Maldini.
Üstün knows. The nod of the head.
Not their day, Denmark. They've had time green shots. They've had to face up against a an unbelievable performance from David Gea in both matchups. I know he's the #1 goalkeeper that everyone moves to. Sometimes can be slightly inconsistent, and then goes through these incredible periods of just making huge saves. In those last 2 games, he's certainly been doing that for Argentina. They'll be booking their place in the final, waiting for either France or Portugal to join them, where they'll be battling out for prize money and that trophy. Here's a chance around the keeper, tried to pull roll twice, does score. But even as I keep saying, if there's a draw, it won't mean anything.
Yeah, a draw doesn't do enough, unfortunately, for Üstün.
Done that a few times, the ball roll away from the keeper, really efficient.
Yeah, good way of scoring. You see the goalkeeper rushing out to you, just simple ball roll, simple movement with the right stick to one side or the other of the goalkeeper, and then just a simple finish past him.
Seconds left now, Yago. A half of dreams for him in the first one, 3-0 up. Incredible stuff. Added time of 3 minutes. Nicolas got the job done. Yago got the job done as well. Looking for a fourth. Is he going to find it through the ball to Messi? That would have been a story. Only Argentine involved. Both of the teams here. Lionel Messi stepping up and scoring the winner. If it wasn't done already, grand final time, party time for Argentina.
No.
They'll be there and they'll be waiting patiently for a nation to join them. Congratulations.
Quite a subdued reaction from Yago. We've seen the screams, we've seen the emotion pouring out of him.
Abstri.
Quite a subdued celebration there. That signifies to me that he knows his job not done yet. He knows he's got one more game until the celebration can come out. They're into the final.
Done it in style as well.
Nothing's been won yet. That's the thing.
Let's have a look at the goals from this second leg, which was a 3-1 win. Deflection, got very fortunate. Neymar, as I keep saying, always going to be taking those opportunities if he just falls to his feet for an open goal but tap in. Really iffy performance at the back from David Gea, both of the games for Denmark.
Lovely build-up play there from Neymar. Slots it past the goalkeeper.
That was incredible. That was a fantastic goal. Deserved all the plaudits. There's Yago for that.
This was the third.
This was before half-time.
On the stroke of half-time, yeah. Ball roll inside, CR7 dancing around the defence. Back in to Neymar, smashed it past the goalkeeper, and that was a 3-goal lead, and it was just 1 goal too many for Üstün to try and claw back for Denmark.
In the end, nothing more than a consolation from R9 Ronaldo. Had so many chances, and by that point, Üstün, you could just see there in his body language, he's just deflated. Had another chance right at the end. She did score, 2 ball rolls round him. Again, a draw would have still been enough to send Argentina through. It had to be a win, and you can see as well from Marcuzo there, just the disappointment. They got so close, and in Marcuzo's mind, he's thinking, from my game, those 2 chances I had, those 3 chances I had, big saves, missed opportunities, and in the end, it's going to be Argentina going through to the grand final.
Confirmation of that result. It only took 2 games for Argentina. 3-2, 3-2 from Nicolas and Yago, and Denmark go out in the semi-final stages. Argentina into the final. Let's have a word with the PlayStation #1, Nicolas, who's with Anna.
Thanks, guys. I've got Nicolas here. Nicolas, you guys just got your way into the grand final. How are you liking playing at this event? You seem to be performing very well on these team events.
Yeah, luckily we are in the final. I prefer play, this depends. I prefer team because we play 2v2. For me, 2v2 format is the best at the moment. But for sometimes when you lose, the sensation is not too good. But I prefer 2v2.
Well, you seem to be playing great in the 2v2. Now you're going to have a tough game coming up in the final. If you could choose, who would you rather go against?
For me, it's the same. You need to win everyone.
مين طلع
Well,
انجلترا؟
good luck. Thank you so much, Nicolas.
والنتيجة خلصت كام؟
Thanks very much, Arna. Interesting hearing from Nicolas there. Very
ولا
calm,
كام
very
عادي.
collected. Were you surprised with
انجلترا خسرت من الأرجنتين
but the fact that it was 2 victories,
وخسرت
it wasn't a draw, we didn't have
بتاع ده
the 2v2.
اتعادلت
very good
وبعدين
in the
خسرت
semi-final.
الماتش التاني 2-0.
players in that match between the two Danish guys.
Oh,
and the two
2-0.
Argentinians. We had 3 former winners of FIFA Majors. We had the first 2 Club World Cup winners from Denmark, Üstün and Marcuzo respectively. And then of course, as you alluded to there, we had Nicolas, who's the only winner left in this tournament that has won a 2v2 FIFA Major, which was the Club World Cup earlier this year.
Yeah.
He obviously won that with Tekkz. Tekkz been eliminated by Argentina.
By Argentina, of course.
But he didn't need the 2v2, as you say. He didn't need to go to 2v2 to book their place. They both did it pretty well in their own single matches. I was a bit surprised with that game against Marcuzo.
الحمد لله.
He fairly early, and I thought he's looking good here. He's luck cricketering his way through.
كان هيقعد بقى يزيد علينا جامد.
And the second game, Yago, you have to say, he's more than pulling his weight.
And we should mention Yago as well, because we talk about Nicolas quite rightly because he is the #1 ranked player in the world on PlayStation. But Yago's been performing brilliantly as well and famously beating Tekkz before this game as well. That was a big victory for him.
And again, they didn't need to go to the 2v2 in that match either. So that's the sign of a really good team. The fact they're not needing to. If the final goes to 2v2, we just heard from Nicolas that he likes that format. I think it says a lot about the guy who's more or less been dominating, along with a few others, the PlayStation scene for a couple of years now in a 1v1. That he likes 2v2 more.
Yeah.
He wants to see more of
He
it.
wants to play 2v2. Didn't need the 2v2. They're that good, but that's it. Let's have confirmation of where we are at with the tournament then. Of course, this is the second and final day of the first ever eNations Cup, and this is what it means. Argentina defeating Denmark, so they are in the final. And France versus Portugal is our other semi-final. That is another tough one to call, Spencer.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing game. As we mentioned earlier, it's a repeat of the Euro 2016 finals, of course, which France came out, so Portugal came out on top of that late goal from Adair. But I do believe, I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but the Portugal guys had Adair on their bench just as an option in this tournament. I'm not sure if they were introduced. Imagine the scenes if they did and he scored. Very unlikely. But obviously Cristiano Ronaldo, Eusebio, there's a number of Portuguese options in there they could use. Don't think I've seen them use Luis Figo yet, who's an icon as well. But no, it's going to be a really good game. France should say are the favourites, but Portugal keep finding ways to win.
They do keep finding ways to win. Time now for a quick break, but do not go anywhere because after this break, it will be our second semi-final between France and...
Hello. Hello, William. How are you? Yeah, I think Portugal is too lucky today. I think France will lose. Yeah, it's too hard. But luck is with Portuguese.
Hello and welcome back to the inaugural FIFA eNations Cup. We are live here in London, England. It is day 2, the final day, and we are moments away, Spencer. Soon we will find out who will be crowned the first ever eNations Cup champion. Not a lot of action to come, but some great action to come, because this is where we're at. First finalist has been set. Argentina, not needing the 2v2, winning the individual battles to advance against Denmark in the semi-final, and the other semi-final, which we're about to see shortly, Spencer, France against Portugal.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to call this one. Portugal have got something about them that seems... I wouldn't say they're undefeatable. Obviously, they lost some games in the group stage, but they just find ways to grind out results. But France have been one of the pre-tournament favourites from the beginning. They had a slow start in the groups, but they've found their form now, and they're going to be very difficult to beat as well.
Yeah, so let's get the confirmation of the semi-final. Just to reiterate this, the number at the top is the accumulated points. So Argentina winning 6 points to 0 against Denmark. So Nicolas and Iago both winning their individual battles, which is why we didn't need the 2v2. We only come to the 2v2 if it is needed, because there are 2 draws, or one team wins one and the other team wins the other one. So very confident for Argentina in the first game. And France versus Portugal is about to commence, and there's some interesting individual battles within France versus Portugal, Spencer.
Well, if you look at the form book and you look at the global rankings, it should be...
Maybe first 2 matches will end as a draw,
players in the world, to be honest, in their respective consoles.
but
They
the
are
third one
opponents, RastaArtur and
maybe
Xexu.
goes to
However,
Blantes.
we keep saying this about Portugal. They're not going down without a fight. They've not even scored... They took a game to penalties without even scoring a goal, of course. But they still did what they had to do to get through in the last game of the group stage. We've seen them do it again in the quarterfinals. Can they do it once more against France? I don't think many people are giving them a chance, but I think Portugal like it when their backs are against the
They do,
corner.
don't they? And interestingly, both of the teams, France and Portugal, we can see nearest there, narrowly getting past the group stages. But since they have got past the group stage, they've found an extra gear in the knockout stages where it really matters.
I think it's a great lesson for people watching, other pros that are at the event, people watching at home. You're never out until you're out. I see so often at these events, people's body language change and they feel like they've been beaten because they've lost a game or 2. But as long as they've got a chance of getting out, you have to keep going. Look how well Denmark did, only just getting knocked out last round, and France. Both teams, it wasn't in their hands, remember, at the start of today, as to whether they got out of the groups. They got a bit of luck, it worked in their favour, and they took that chance. France particularly, still in this tournament.
The players are set, really ready to go. Just quickly as well, the chance to represent your country, but also at this stage, the national anthems as well, which is great for the event, isn't it? The first ever eNations Cup.
I mean, it's amazing, you know. And these guys may or may not have grown up dreaming of playing one day for traditional football for their countries. Not an option now, but they're doing the next best thing. You know, it's part of it. It's not like a runner-up prize. You're part of the football association. You know, these are the official associations of these countries. You're singing the same national anthem, in some cases humming along to it. Yeah. And that's what I love to see, and I think it really just brings up everything in the emotions as well.
Yeah, you love to see it. So let's see it. We are almost set to go. Let's head over to our casters, Mark Hatcher and Dan Gaskin.
Thank you once again, gentlemen, and it is time for our second semi-final here at the FIFA eNations Cup. It'll be France taking on Portugal. Both of them have had pretty dodgy runs, we should say, to the semi-finals here, scraping their way through in certain situations, but they are here right now, and they'll find out for a chance to make it through to the grand final to take on Argentina.
And I think when you get to this point in the semi-finals, you think you have a chance to take that cup, to be the first ever eNations champions. And I mean, these are some of the top players in the world. It's not like they've just come on a run. We should be expecting a good performance here.
Well, before we get into the game, it's time to listen to the national anthems, and we're going to start off here with France. stuff there from both of the players and their coach Dax and Maestro look ready for this semi-final. But let's talk about Portugal, their opponents. They've scraped their way through to the semi-final, made it here on penalties on that quarter-final win. They've got a big task ahead of them.
Only +1 goal difference at the moment. It has been very tight for Portugal, but boy have they brought passion to this tournament. Both Tuga and RastaArtur, they really want this. They believe that they can get all the way to the final mark.
And talking of passion, Dan, it's time for the national anthem, this time of Portugal. Fantastic stuff then from the Portuguese players. They're getting ready now. They're going to be just moments away from kicking off our semi-final. We're going to go for a very quick break while they get things finalized. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. One, two, one, two, one, two. Talking. It can indeed. Is that better? Lovely. All right, thanks, mate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the FIFA eNations Cup, and it is time for our second semi-final, where France will be taking on Portugal. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one.
Yeah, a rematch in a way of the 2016 Euro final between Portugal and France in real life, where we know Portugal won that one 1-0. Whether that's going to be the same for Portugal, I do not know, because France have one heck of a roster. Maestro and Dax, two of the biggest players in the scene at the moment. Two players we should expect to be seeing at every tournament from this point onwards in the season. Really should be the favourites here, Mark.
Yeah, and the form player, Maestro, as well, is going to be kicking things off on the PlayStation 4 here.
Let's go.
On RastaArtur, representing Portugal, and this is going to be an interesting clash of play styles here. As I say, Maestro, very much a form player in competitive FIFA at the moment, but RastaArtur has been able to produce results. Some of them not pretty, but results at the same time.
Two players who know each other very well, been competing against one another for years, but a lot throughout FIFA 19 as well. If we go right back to the start of the season, when we had our first ever tournament of FIFA 19 in Paris, both of these players competed there, where Maestro had a pretty successful tournament, but RastaArtur had some incredible goals as well. So I'm expecting a very, very close affair.
Of course, if you're just joining, this is the second semi-final of the day. And the winner of this has a date with Argentina in the grand final to crown the first ever eNations Cup champion. Maestro on the attack now for France. Ronaldo on the edge of the box. Vieira with a slightly heavy touch, almost won it back. The ball ricocheted towards him, but RastaArtur now comes away for Portugal. A few nervy moments early on in this game with possession sort of ping-ponging back between the two nations.
And RastaArtur knows he's going to be up against it here, Mark, because Maestro has been one of the most informed players, not just in this tournament, but in general in FIFA 19, the current PS4 champion from the last event just a weekend ago.
That's a great ball inside as well. Unfortunately, it was Neymar who was trying to just divert that back inside to R9. Couldn't complete his pass, and now Portugal can build from the back.
All tournament long, Maestro has been getting the job done on the PlayStation, making it that little bit easier for his partner in crime, Dax. In the quarterfinals, they were able to, of course, take a victory against Brazil, where Maestro got the job done early, and then Dax, all he needed to do was get a draw, and he did just that. Against Ebinhob, it was 2-2. France have a much better goal difference, and they've scored a lot more goals than Portugal have. However, Portugal's defensive record is an impressive one as well.
Well, here is Portugal on the attack. Ronaldo going to use the full-back here. Now Cancelo in. And right back here, we've seen a lot of Team of the Year. Ramos, and the first shot of the game comes in from the edge of the box there from Kylian Mbappe. Maybe just a little bit of a warning sign. Then building, Maestro again building from the back, taking his time, and this has been something he's added to his game even since the last time that we saw him down. A little bit more patience in the build-up, and you have to maybe attribute that to going away, looking at the footage of his last tournament, and also maybe the player that's right behind him now. That's Dax as the shot comes in. You can see it was time green, but the defender managed to just
About the
pick the ball
damn
off of his toe before he managed to complete that strike.
Well, I believe that's probably a little bit of both. Dax is very much about the slow build-up, and he would have, I'm sure, told Maestro that sometimes when you play those risky passes, that's when you give opportunities to your opponent. So be slow about your build-up. You've got time to do so, especially when it's 0-0. Don't give away any easy opportunities for your opponent to catch you on the counter-attack. Instead, wait for that space to present itself. Frustrate your opponent a little bit. Encourage those players to be pulled out of position. However, it is against RastaArtur, and next game we'll go against Tekkz. Two very defensive-minded players, two players who are more than happy to sit back, absorb that pressure, and wait for their moment to pounce.
It's France on the attack now, Kylian Mbappe. The ball back inside to R9, little cricketa. Maybe just plant a seed of doubt there that could be used inside the 18-yard box here. As Maestro comes forward now, Ronaldo tries to turn back onto that stronger right foot. Of course, the 4-star weak foot on Team of the Year, Cristiano Ronaldo. Means he's not going to be perfect off that left side. He's still going to be pretty effective.
Remember, in the semi-finals, it's very important that you do get a result in this first leg, because if you were to lose or even just draw, it makes things much more difficult for your partner in your team to try and secure that result. It's 1 point for a draw, 3 points for a win. You're tied on points after the first 2 legs, then we go to a deciding leg on 2 versus 2. We've already seen the drama that 2v2 produces.
100%, it has gone down to the wire in a lot of these games so far. But Portugal coming forward here, and Hullet just had it pinched off of him by Vieira. Some spaces were looking to open up behind the defensive line there of France. It's been a cagey start here, as you would expect. Only 90 minutes here for either Maestro or RastaArtur to get that win on the board. No second leg like we usually see in competitive FIFA, these players to be separated. So it's do or die now if they want to be the ones to put the points on the board for their nation.
We talk about pressure, I mean, there's been so much of it
Yeah,
in this
but then
tournament,
full.
especially with the added aspect of representing your nation. And now, after seeing the national anthem
Tacht
with
al.
pride, does that add extra pressure?
Here we go.
Duran gets across there just as R9 was looking dangerous inside the box. De Gea will comfortably pick that one up, and fantastic distribution there from the goalkeeper to find Cristiano Ronaldo on that right-hand side. And now we're going to see Maestro's turn to come forward. Approaching 40 minutes on the clock here, just 5 minutes until we hear that half-time whistle go. And only the one real shot in anger so far, and that came in from RastaArtur.
It's whether Maestro maybe
About them,
trying to lull RastaArtur into a false sense of security, and he might just hit him with
La,
a
la, la,
Here's
la, la.
Neymar, big chance here, Burrow, and the finish! And if that was the plan, Dan, it's worked perfectly here for France. Maestro strikes. France go into the lead. It's France 1, Portugal 0.
The only reason I say it is because Maestro's normal game is not slow, methodical. It's usually fast, pass and move, risky through balls. Maybe he was just waiting for that right moment to jump onto RastaArtur's back line, and he saw the run from Neymar. And boy, did he find it just as the right time as well, just before the first half comes to an end.
Perfect time to score. And Maestro's fantastic, almost incredible superhuman form is continuing here in London at the FIFA eNations Cup. And he's doing it for France this time, not for himself. Now time for RastaArtur to create an attack of his own. Ronaldo pass to Ronaldo with a big chance. De Gea managed to shift his weight back to his left-hand side to get a palm on that. That was a fantastic save coming in from the goalkeeper now, but the half not over. Ramos with the interception though. Might be the last attack of the game here. As Vieira comes and cleans up, and there is the half-time whistle. 1-0 on the break to France.
I mean, we've seen some unbelievable saves in this tournament. We've also seen some unbelievable misses as well, but you saw the reaction on RastaArtur's face. He did not know how De Gea got a hand to that one. Important fact for France fans, still a 1-goal lead.
Let's check out the goal from that
First half
that separates these two nations, France and Portugal. And it was towards the end of the half here, Dani, there was that patient build-up play, just waiting for that moment to strike. The run from deep from Neymar, and that little ball roll onto the left foot. Kind of just wrong-footed the goalkeeper if there was any potential goalkeeper movement. But it was a fantastic finish, having been presented with the opportunity.
And it was the opportunity that he had been waiting for quite some time. Very much playing very similarly to his partner, Daxe. Unfortunately for RastaArtur, he just couldn't keep that back four tight enough to stop those runs, because eventually, when you have foot items like Neymar, like Cristiano Ronaldo and Mbappe, they are going to make those runs, they are going to be able to find their way through.
A perfect first half here for France. 1 goal to the good. Clean sheet as well, but Portugal have had chances. That chance towards the end of the half as well. It was only an acrobatic save from David De Gea that's kept this clean sheet intact for France. As we start the second half here, it's going to be up to Portugal now to force the pace, and that's not something they've had to do too much in this tournament now.
A lot of the time they've been defending leads or holding on to draws and going towards extra time or going towards penalties. Certainly that's what we saw in the quarter-final anyway. And it's a slightly different scenario for France. I mean, we spoke earlier about the tactics of maybe going for a draw in your first game and allowing your partner then to go for a victory, like what we discussed England could maybe have done. However, Tekkz then did fall. The opposite for France. Maestro, the aggressive player, can go for that win. And then Daxe, all he has to do is grab a draw. And he is so good on the ball, so good with possession, that he can do exactly that.
Neymar's found R9 here. Mbappe with a little scoop turn.
Vamos, Argentina.
pull it into Mbappe. Dani had to stretch across and make a last-ditch tackle there for Portugal. But that's a risky ball across there. Ronaldo almost intercepted that cross-field pass. And that would have been a big chance here for France.
Well, I do want to see more risk from Portugal. I want to see them going for the long through balls, going for the over-the-top through balls to try and catch France off guard, try and catch Maestro maybe when he is just napping a little bit at the back.
And maybe that was a little bit of a mistake. We see a couple of elasticos used there by RastaArtur. But the mistake I was talking about was the little lunge in midfield there from Maestro, trying to pitch the ball back high up the pitch. And sometimes it is just little things like that that leave that gap of space, not just for a pass, but a player to run from deep and find that area to strike on goal.
It is very much risk and reward when you go for those challenges in the middle of the park, though. If he had won that ball back, the attack that could have been presented afterwards could have been very important.
Here
اقفل عليه اقفل عليه.
bursting into the box. Maldini though, prime icon moments for I am showing his worth to so many of these pros teams by striding back and making that tackle. But France win the ball back now on the hour mark, and still just the one goal to separate the teams.
You can see in the player cams on the left-hand side, both partners of each of these players watching on and waiting for their moment in the spotlight. Tuga, someone who exploded in FIFA 19, really showed what he was made of with a very defensive 4-4-2 style. Might be whispering in the ear of RastaArtur.
Well, maybe there's a chance here for Maestro. It was Neymar, I believe, who released a left-footed shot there, much like we saw him break the deadlock with earlier in the game. Portugal survive, and RastaArtur now can come forward.
وعليكم السلام يا ماجد.
Is an important number to remember here for Portugal. Point where we see potentially a change in tactics, a change in formation.
Well, one thing I credited RastaArtur for quite a lot throughout this season was his resilience in not changing his tactics, into sticking with what he knows and really going for his optimum plan and not changing up too much. However, because this format is slightly different, you only get the 90 minutes, you don't have two legs for yourself.
ولا وضعهم ولا.
Might have to just go for a slightly more aggressive formation to try and get a draw.
فرنسا تأهلت بدل السعودية. المفروض كانوا يكسبوا ماتشين ويتعادلوا ماتش او يكسبوا ماتشين بس. كسبوا ماتش وتعادلوا ماتشين. ما تأهلوش يعني من دور المجموعات، وفرنسا تأهلت بدله. وهي فرنسا هي وصلت نص النهائي وبتلعب. اللي هيكسب الماتش ده هيلاعب الأرجنتين في النهائي.
Maestro not allowing the ball to go out of play, so not allowing any changes from RastaArtur, maybe substitutions that he wants to make to try and bring on those fresh legs that can really.
الكلام ده كان الصبح، كان على الساعة 10 كده، أو يبقى عندكم لو في السعودية يبقى الساعة 11.
To take a point away from this game. At the moment, France and Maestro have 3 points in their hands.
Finally, the ball goes out of play and a chance for both players and both teams to make a couple of changes. Here's the 4-4-2 for Portugal. Or the 4-2-2-2, should I say now. Really is just a more aggressive form of the 4-4-2 with those.
وجع عليهم سقف الجامع وهم بيصلوا.
Really getting involved in the action. It means that Portugal going forward now will have far more options to try and play that ball around at the edge of the box in what will be a bit of a wall from France, and Portugal also increasing the width here to try and encourage play on the sidelines.
والله بص، هو أول مباراة كان مساعد ممكن يكسبها، بس تعادل في آخر لحظة، والمباراة اللي بعدها تعادل تاني. هولا. وآخر مباراة كسبوها، بس كانت بعد إيه بقى؟ ما خلاص. كانوا بيلعبوا فنلندا اللي هي كده كده ما كانتش هتتأهل. هو عموما بقى مجموعتهم مين يتأهل منها؟ انجلترا او فرنسا، وانجلترا بقى ايه راحت خسرانة من الارجنتين.
Was the man who got in behind, but the defender just stepped in time, as you saw. The trigger had been pulled here.
I don't speak Spanish. English only.
And it is going to be a case of batting down the hatches now for France, but that might leave a chance here. It looks for the extra ball across.
Okay.
That might have been the opportunity. 84 minutes left on the clock here.
Yeah, it's really good football from RastaArtur. So close twice now to getting that shot away.
Where are you from?
Able to get the ball past the final defender. Maestro just needs to be careful going forward and not give the ball away in these areas. Maybe needs to be looking over his shoulder and taking a little bit of advice from Dax just to keep this ball, but he's regained possession. That's important now.
Has to be so careful around this back line, though. Has to make sure the pass is an 100% completion rate pass. Because you can see the pressure coming in from the Portuguese players now, charging down the space, trying to win the ball back off France here. But Maestro has added this string to his bow in this tournament. And it has made him the player that he has been so far here in London. All the way back to the goalkeeper, and now that's just more seconds off the clock. We're into stoppage time now.
You can see RastaArtur kind of look to the heavens because he knows now.
Oh.
Huge mistake.
Ooh.
And France are let off the hook, but it will be a corner. In towards the box. De Gea deals with it. Maldini, Eusebio again. And that is a shout of relief from Maestro. Because he knows he got away with one there. But it's a 1-0 win to France. And
كده 1-0 لفرنسا.
And it's not the kind of wins we're used to seeing Maestro get. We're used to see him dominating the park, getting goal after goal, but maybe one of the most important wins for him this season.
تكس طلع. الأرجنتين خسرتهم.
Coming so close at the end, just almost snatching a draw. But now pressure goes on to Dax. Maestro's fellow Frenchman, a man who has already had an incredible season. A man who is known for his possession-based football.
ما هو لابس 3 برضه. لابس 3 قدام الولد الأرجنتيني، بس مش نيكولاس، الولد التاني.
Maestro waiting for the run of Neymar, the little ball roll across as well, and an absolute rocket of a finish from Neymar on that left foot into the bottom left-hand corner, and that was the goal that decided it. But this was the moment, Dan. Coming up right now, a mistake here.
حبيبي تسلم والله. دي لو كانت جت جون يا أنا الصراحة مش عايز فرنسا تكسب. هي البرتغال ماشية معاها بالحظ يعني، وكل شوية تجيب جون في آخر لحظة، بس مش عايز فرنسا تكسب.
And that means all they need is 1 point from this next game to get themselves into the grand final versus Argentina.
So Dax knows what he's got to do. When we get back, we will see that Xbox game. We'll be back right after this. Closer. Problem is when I get too close, like my screen.
الناس دي عندها مشاكل في البتاع الصبح.
Still talking about the game. We've got semi-final coming up. Second leg about to get underway. Dan Gaskin sat next to me, wearing his Masters jacket.
ايوه معاك مساعد ما طلع يا ابني، ما بالصبح بنقوله طلع والله خسر. السعودية طلعت كلها احنا كنا بنقول ايه فوق يا ابني؟ وبعدين ايه البطولة العجيبة دي؟ كل ما يطلعوا فاصل ينسوا المايك بتاع المذيع مفتوح. لا مش وضعه في خطر، هو عدوا الخطر خلاص، هما طلعوا. خالص. ما تعيطش، هي ان شاء الله هيعوضوها في بطولة العالم بقى. بس انت في رأيك مين اللي هيكسب؟ فرنسا ولا البرتغال؟ وعموما اللي هيكسب منهم هيلاعب الأرجنتين في النهائي. ليه؟ ده حتى نهائي اليورو الأخراني كان البرتغال هي اللي كسبت. بص، هو البرتغال النهارده طول البطولة كانت محظوظة. ايوه، والسعودية طلعت بسبب فرنسا اتأهلت بدل السعودية، كانت معاها في المجموعة. ايه ده عدنا بهذه السرعة؟
Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to the FIFA eNations Cup here in London. And our second semi-final is very much underway. France versus Portugal has got all of the ingredients to be an absolute stunner of a game, and it is France who have drawn first blood here, Dan.
And of course the reward is going to be Argentina in the grand final. You can see that Argentina took down England in a big shock result from earlier on today. And then they were able to take down Denmark as well. So they sit and they will wait for who's going to take this semi-final tie.
Now, the first game, of course, was on the PlayStation 4. And as I previously mentioned, France are the people who took home the win there. Maestro picking up the win over RastaArtur with a 1-0 win, which is a little bit uncharacteristic for him. He's usually a more free-flowing player. But when he's going into games like this, these knockout scenarios, 1-0, you're absolutely happy with. The scoreline is irrelevant as long as you pick up that win.
I mean, it was just a really impressive performance from Maestro. It was a very professional performance, a very smart performance from him. He realized what kind of player RastaArtur is. RastaArtur is going to sit back. He's going to wait for you to strike and then try and hit you on the counter-attack. Because he saw that, he played his own possession game. He waited for RastaArtur to make a mistake, and then he was able to just push through with that one-through ball to Neymar. But now, the baton gets passed over to Dani.
هو العوفي كان السبب يعني، بس مش السبب الاولاني. هو ساعد لو ما كانش يتعادل الماتش اللي قبله كنتوش طلعتوا، ما كناش طلعنا.
Portugal have very different ideas indeed for Portugal. They need this win here. They need the 3 points to send it to that 2v2 decider. So here we go. The Xbox part of our second semi-final is very much underway. France versus Portugal. DaXe for France just needs a draw here.
Tugu has had an incredible season already. Most notably, finished runner-up in the FUT Champions Cup in Atlanta, only losing out to Tekkz in the cross-console final. Can he find that same form here to give Portugal a chance to get towards the grand final? A win would send it into a 2v2 tiebreaker.
Well, here comes DaXe then, moving forward, and I love watching this man play FIFA 19. All about the pass and move. The beautiful game is what he likes to play. And that's what we're seeing here at the start of the game. Almost found that pass through. Neymar collects the ball back once more. Couple of skill moves just into space, just reminding Tuga of some of the tricks that he's got. As now Marcelo plays that ball down the line to Mbappe. Back inside. Here's the run from Vieira. Pull it back to Vieira. Mbappe turns, Scoot Redson's around the corner, almost found the ball back into the centre of the box there to Neymar. But Tuga sticking to his guns. And this is going to be an interesting battle here. You've got one of the most impressive
حبيبي
players
تسلم والله.
going forward, those passing plays, going up against one of the best defensive players, and it might be Tuga who can take
يا
the
اختي
lead.
خد يا ابني.
What a slow tackle there was from Varane to keep the ball out. Does go for a corner. And still possession here. Tossed it to the middle.
برضه
Off the ball with the
ايوه كده ايوه.
And you hear the vamos coming out of Tuga, and Portugal strike first. The pressure has paid off. The header came back off the post, but Ronaldo, I believe it was there, and who else but Ronaldo?
I mean, it's usually Ronaldo with the head, putting the ball in the back of the net, and maybe that's why it hit the post, because it wasn't Ronaldo, but at least he was there.
اه هي طول اليوم كذا ماتش يحصل فيها نفس الحركة. في ماتش عشان تخش جون خبطت في القائم 3 مرات او مرتين وبعد كده راحت داخله.
Dax almost plays chess on the football pitch. He thinks 4, 5, 6 moves ahead when he is passing that ball around. He watches the defensive movement of his opponent, and then he picks them apart before they even know it. But now he's going to have to do that coming from behind, so he might be slightly rushed compared to normal.
He might have a little bit more time in midfield on the ball, because Tuga's going to set up that defensive wall now, try and close this game out, even with just 13 minutes on the clock, and then look for chances on the break. So now it's up to Dax to break down the wall that you are going to see Tuga put up.
I mean, you can already see those front 4 players just sitting on that halfway line, making it very difficult for Dax to even get to his forward players to try and break down the second wall of back 4 line. This could be a very difficult task for Dax if he doesn't do it quickly.
This is going to be a complete tactical battle between the two now, because Dax, if anyone has the ability to break down a couple of walls of defence with passing and movement, it is Dax. But he's going to need to do it here to book a place for France in the grand final against Argentina. The good thing is for him now, he only has to do it once still. That one goal doesn't really change too much if Dax gets a goal on the board.
It's about trying to be unpredictable here, because Tuga, very good at reading the game, will know exactly what Dax is trying to do. So whether Dax can come up with something that is going to surprise Tuga, that Tuga might not be able to intercept a pass, for example. We've seen many a goal from Dax where he sequences together many a passes before a goal.
Well, here's Ronaldo inside the box, Neymar with the shot. And it was the last line of defence, as far as outfield players are concerned, that make that block. And that's the difficulty, Dan. You can work into those positions, but before you even get to the hay, there's 2 players sat just outside the 6-yard box there trying to close those shots down.
The goal of the tournament was, for me, from Dax already, where he chained together, what was it, 19 passes, I think Brandon counted, before putting away an absolutely beautiful goal. He needs to find something similar to that to actually take down Tuga here, I'm sure. Tuga has a chance to double his lead as he's the one going forward.
R9 tries to cricketa past Vieira. Vieira says, not today. Dax comes away again. Ronaldo turns back inside now. It's not surprising to see almost every player on the pitch here for Dax will get a touch of the ball before he ends up creating a chance himself. He loves to give everyone a little feel of the football.
Australia drew a lot.
He's given a pass to every player, and Tuga has every other player behind the ball, waiting and watching and saying, all right, well, you can play around the midfield as much as you like, but getting into the final third, that's when I'm going to step up and make these challenges.
Here's R9 then. Vieira and Villa, of course, we combine a midfield here. An offensive capacity. Turn away from Mbappe. That's a beautiful little drag back. Hullet, the artist has stuck here in London. Who's going to go into what a goal that is from Dax. It's still to be decided. But that's why I love watching this man play FIFA.
We knew it was going to take something special to get through Tuga's defence, and that was exactly special. We call him the artist, we call Tekkz the special one, but Dax just a special artist now. I can't wait to see the replay of that one. I'm sure we will see it on the highlight reel for weeks to come. As now back to the drawing board once again for Tuga. And look at the possession, it was 75% possession for France in these opening 35 minutes.
That's what he can do. It really does look like a simple game when Dax puts together moves like that. And he's done it against one of the most effective defensive players there is in FIFA 19 at the moment. But even having
صح انت صح نيكلوس في النهائي اهو انا توقعي بقى ان هو هيلاعب البرتغالي ده
It's the composure in front of goal to try and suss out which way your opponent is going to move their goalkeeper, but Dax had a little bit of everything. And that'll give him now the confidence going forward.
Now, as it stands, just remember, France only need a draw from this game. So as it stands, France will be going through to the grand final, up to Portugal, up to Tuga now, to answer back and get a lead. Vieira plays the ball out wide here to Ramos. Steps forward into the space, Vieira, maybe a chance to strike it first time. Marcelo with the croqueta. And Cristiano Ronaldo is the man back here for France.
And Dax is really putting his defenders in the right places at the right time at the moment, not allowing Tuga to get into the areas he really wants to. Even when he's driving forward, Dax very focused, concentrating on every single move Tuga makes. For all the talk of Tuga's defence, Dax has been impressive as well.
لازم البرتغالي ده يجيب جول لازم يكسب عشان يلعبوا ماتش تاني
Almost at half time here, and this first half has absolutely flown by. And if it stays like this, France only have to survive 45 minutes without conceding. But it looks like Dax wants to end this now. Neymar on the edge of the box, Croqueta out wide to Ronaldo. Back into Neymar.
Üstün!
And Dax is stepping up when it matters for France. Maestro loves it. And Dax just wants to get back to
الواد ماستر مستفزني.
It's almost like Dax just feeds his emotion into Maestro, and then Maestro releases it all for him. And that's why they make such a good team. You have the calm and composed
كده توجا عايز يجيب جولين مش جون.
the energetic and passionate one.
He's the hype man.
And sometimes you need the hype man. You need that person behind you, giving you the confidence. As Tuga has to come from behind for Portugal. Not even a chance to attack from the kickoff. The whistle goes at half-time. 68% possession for Dax. As we knew it was going to be a game where Dax controlled it. It was just the fact he was able to get back when he was behind, which is impressive.
So Portugal need to. It really is as simple as that at the moment. The lead here for France is huge. As far as the semi-final is concerned, and who is going to make it through to the final, we'll take a look at the highlights now. Tuga did get the first strike on the board here. The ball towards the back post was won, and on the follow-up, Cristiano Ronaldo brought it away, but that just brought the artist to life.
It did. As soon as he knew he had to press on, as soon as he knew he had to just go for that goal, he started to feel every pass, and it was just an absolute masterpiece of a goal. But it's just a day in the office, isn't it, for him? He's used to scoring goals like that.
للأسف أيوة.
The second one as well. Just a simple scoop turn away from his man, but nothing simple about the finish there. And I'm pretty sure that all the fans back in France could hear Maestro from here.
تاكس واخد ELS مرتين تقريبا.
The LA's ringing out around the arena at the moment, and I'm sure we'll hear some more of them if France can hold on to this game.
And what a day it's been for France as they started off after playing all of their group games yesterday, having to watch, having to wait and see how their fate was going to be decided by the rest of their group. In Group A, they watched Saudi Arabia fall to Finland, which allowed them through to the knockouts. They then were able to take down Brazil in the quarterfinals. And as it stands, they're on their way to the grand final where they'll face Argentina, the chance to be the first ever eNations Cup winners.
But trust me when I say Portugal will not go down with here. Tuga with a chance to find Ruud Gullit, who was in an attacking position, but when he has to push up the pitch here, he's going to leave space in behind here for Dax to expose. Down the line here for France, Neymar. Turning away from the attention of two defenders, trying to poke the ball into Vieira there.
And we spoke all about how Maestro had to learn something from Dax in playing more of a possession. Maestro had to learn something from Dax in playing more of a possession game. Well, Dax can learn something from Maestro here because naturally Tuga's going to get very aggressive. He is going to leave gaps, and Dax needs to capitalize on those gaps because a 1-goal lead, we know how fragile that goal lead can be. And as soon as it's 2-2, it would be a very nervous ending for the Frenchman.
Yeah, that's when things start to get very, very shaky. They do have the advantage of, even if Dax does lose this, the 2v2, it's kind of a backup.
Hello.
A little bit of an insurance policy potentially for France, but if Portugal do take this and send it to a 2v2, you have to say the momentum would be with them. So you get the feeling that Dax and France, they have to close this out here. And this is just where Dax excels in the game of FIFA. Hull it now. Into Neymar, good tackle from Marcelo. Portugal could come forward.
He needs to do that more as well. He needs to get aggressive, try and win that ball back. Don't allow Dax to just play the ball around the park.
When it's going to be...
ابعد. ايوه. لا يا
just takes it ever so slightly too wide. And De Gea didn't need a second invitation to come and gather that.
Well, yeah, really well played from Dax, bringing the keeper out, recognising it was a heavy touch from Tuga. Now Dax is going to be more than happy again just to eat away at that time a little
كانش
bit.
لازم يطولها.
Across the park, from right to left, from left to right. He doesn't matter which direction it goes, as long as it's not going towards a
This is the best direction for it to go here for France. Big chance
إيه ده؟
for Dax. Cannot take it. De Gea makes the save.
Really impressive goalkeeper movement there. And you have to be brave in those situations because that could have been game over if Portugal went 3-1 down there. And now for Tuga, he might have to switch up his loving 4-4-2 and get a little bit more aggressive here. It is going to be a couple of personnel changes. Maybe it could be one of the greats. Prime icon moments, Eusebio introduced onto the pitch.
اجيب يا ملك.
The Portuguese legend. They need to find something here. And Tuga is going to have to dig deep.
Maybe the last throw of the dice as far as tactics are concerned for Tuga. Corner here to France. Dax takes it short to Pele. Free kick will be given here by the referee.
Semi-finalist is Argentina,
We've seen opportunities
Denmark,
be created from these set
France,
pieces.
Portuguese.
It'll be surprising to see Dax take this one short, just keep in possession. That's experience. That's veteran play coming in from the Frenchman. Vieira now. Almost toying with Portuguese fans' hearts at the moment with the way that he's playing this game. Drag back from Ronaldo. Pele with the Cruyff turn. There's Hullet. There's Mbappe, and it's a penalty. Tuga had to force the pace. The French fans love what they're seeing.
And this could be a red as well.
And this is a chance here to really end this, and he is off the pitch as well.
لا بس في الحين.
Things just became extremely difficult for
لا
Portugal.
بس في الحين.
And you have to feel like if this penalty is converted by Dax, it's the grand final ticket for him.
Mbappe, his teammate Maestro, has been channeling that celebration all tournament long. Steps up. And saved by Portugal. They stay alive.
10 men.
هيلعب ناقص ومضطر يجيب جونين وهو
You
ناقص.
have to go forward. You're going to leave gaps in the back, but you've got to commit. You've got to take risks now because your tournament lives are on the line. It's going to be extremely tough against a player like Dax.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's difficult enough with 11 on the pitch to negate
البرازيل خسرت من فرنسا.
on FIFA with 10.
دوبك هيعدي دور المجموعات ولعبت فرنسا وخسر.
That can do it here for Portugal. It is Tuga, but he needs to win the ball back. He needs to push his line higher on the pitch. Pele into CR7, and look at this from Dax. He's just almost got the ball on a string at the moment. Pele into Hullet. Vieira says to Marcelo, take that space.
بقى متوتر. البرتغالي ده بقى متوتر.
Just has the ball on a string.
Yeah, now it's 11 versus 10. He just has so much room to work with, and Tuga's players are just
صاحبي بس لو ما كانش ضيع الجون اللي كان في اول المباراة ده
but they can't even get a sniff at
المباراة
it.
الأولانية ولا ايه؟
Ronaldo then croquettes inside.
كانش زنق نفسه هو وصاحبه كده.
Just showed too much of it to the defender. And there is still time.
ايوه في تايم عشان يجيب جونين. هدف واحد ما يكفيش. هو لسه بيقول لك هو 1 جول not enough.
It would certainly be
move the ball forward here, Dan.
a very nervy ending for Dax if Tuga does get a goal here.
Messi into Mbappe, almost finds the ball through to Eusebio. De Gea just clears his line. Smart play there from Dax. And it'll be rewarded with the ball just falling to the feet of Vieira as well. Every second that's ticking past here, France get closer and closer to our grand final.
You can see the frustration starting to kick in for Tuga now, but wins the ball back, which means there's a little bit of hope, but I don't blame him for rushing these passes. He has to rush the passes. He doesn't have time to just play the ball around and compose himself. He just needs to kind of hit and hope at times with these passes.
ابعت قدامي يا زبي يا ملك.
Only momentarily though, because Varane won the ball back. The 10 men of Portugal would have to pull off something special here. But Dax is stepping up to the plate for France. Pele now inside.
جي مش هيلحق يجيب جونين.
And all that ends up is the ball is in the crowd.
And Dax knows that would have been enough to kill off the game, even if the game may be killed off already. I have to say, I feel like it's too much of a job for Tuga with just 10 men. Maybe with 11, might have been able to snatch a couple of goals as the game.
الفاينل كمان شوي.
The end of this 90 minutes. We've seen it before. We have seen 2 goals in stoppage time.
المفروض بقى هيريحوا لهم مثلا 5 دقايق وبعدين يلعبوا فاينل.
If you're a Portuguese fan, don't give up hope just yet. There might not be much hope, but there's still something.
والله البرتغال عملت اللي عليها وبزيادة يعني لو طلعوا بقى خلاص.
Words of encouragement here to Tuga from his coach. Changes here for Dax, not leaving anything to chance, making sure he's got fresh.
المفروض الواد ده بيلعب قصدي شغال في القوات الجوية البرتغالية، مش عارف تقريبا بيقضي خدمته العسكرية حاجة كده.
That is just going to allow Dax now to eat away at this clock, to have a little bit of a victory. It was a good effort for Portugal, but just not quite enough.
لا ما تقوليش هجيب جول، ما كفاية كده، كفاية. هل هيجيب هدف؟ لا ما جابش حاجة خلاص.
And there is the final whistle. Maestro and Dax, they've got it done. They will be in the grand final of the eNations Cup against Argentina.
والله مايسترو ده مستفزني أوي.
We have forming between these two. Very different personalities, very different play styles, but when you put them together, it really is a super side. Is it going to be enough to take down the giants of Argentina, though? It is going to be two of the favourites in the tournament going head-to-head to try and lift the first ever eNations trophy.
It's going to be the battle of Vamos versus LA when we get to that grand final, but we should say, Portugal, what a run from them. They have pushed people all the way in every single game that they've been involved with, as we do take a look back on the highlights from this game.
Portugal, who have gone so far with last-minute goals, with last-ditch attempts, with draws, with penalty shootouts, with so much emotion about them, and they even took the lead in this game. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough with Dax. So smart about his play, and such a fabulous goal. I can watch that on repeat over and over and over.
You literally took the words out of my mouth, and my French isn't very good, but I'm pretty sure the French coach there was saying that was superb. And I can't think of a better word to describe it myself. The second goal here from Dax, very impressive as well. Scoop turn and the finish. And the LA, once again from Maestro, lets you know that France are in a great position.
And I feel like Maestro is just the inner voice of Dax sometimes. It's what Dax wants to do, but we know that he has to stay calm, he has to stay composed and focus on the job that is hand. Then things went worse for Portugal. It was a red card, it was a penalty. But at least something to scream and shout about again, as it was a penalty saved, and there was still time to get back into it, Mark. However, 10 men versus 11 men is very difficult in any game of FIFA 19, but even harder against France's DaXe.
Nervy moments towards the end of the game, but there is the celebration from the two players. Maestro, full of beans, absolutely loving life. DaXe won't be happy till he's lifting a trophy. But here are the results from our second semi-final, Dan.
2v2 not required because France get the job done in the PS4 leg and the Xbox leg. Maestro and DaXe, they'll be in the finals, Mark.
Well, speaking of the finals, it's time to go for a break right now, but when we get back, we'll have the finals.
And welcome back to the FIFA eNations Cup, the first of its kind here. We are live from London in England, and the semi-finals have been concluded, so we know who will be our finalists. Spencer, we started with 20, we are down to just 2, and we know that it will be Argentina against France. So let's just reflect on some of those games, because neither of them, Spencer, needing a 2v2.
Yeah, it's impressive stuff from both nations getting through to the final. Nicolas versus Marcuzo was a back and forth game. Marcuzo obviously up at one point, but Nicolas just showed his class, showed the reason that he's so highly ranked on the PlayStation side, getting that 3-2 victory. And you have to say, to Yago, this guy has more than held his own on the Argentina team.
He's had a great tournament, hasn't he? Because don't forget he beat Tekkz as well before this, which was a surprise result to many people.
I thought Üstün might pull it back here for Denmark. It was reminding me a little bit of the Club World Cup final last year when his partner Fredberg got beat fairly heavily in the first leg. He turned it round against Aero. I was really impressed, and I thought Üstün was going to do it again here, but no, Argentina saw it through, didn't need the 2v2, as you say.
And neither did France.
No, they didn't. And it's really interesting to me that they've done it in such fashion. Maestro winning a 1-0 game at this level. I mean, that's quite rare. I know it's only one leg, but still, to shut your opponent out, really impressive from Maestro. And then Dax's game was very interesting. Obviously, 1-0 up was Tuga for Portugal, and it went back to Dax being 2-1, got the red card, got the penalty.
Yeah.
That made it very hard for Portugal to come back from with 10 men. Dax didn't actually score the penalty, missed the chance to go 3-1 up, but saw the game out. If you give Dax a man advantage, it's lights out, because he can keep the ball really well, he can frustrate you. It's exactly what he did against Tuga, so looking good for France.
Yeah, looking very good for France, looking good for Argentina, and Anna is with a very happy French team now. Anna, over to you.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with France'MAESTRO and Dax, who just punched their ticket into the very first FIFA eNations Cup final. Guys, how are you feeling about your performance?
We are feeling very, very good because today when we wake up, we was not sure to go to the knockout. So we are feeling very, very well, and now we are in the final, so we're feeling good. And I know my teammate is feeling good as well, so yeah, I just wait for the final now.
Now, I just heard you. You guys were saying how stressed you were. Are you still feeling that stress, or are you kind of relaxing some now?
Yeah, like said Maestro, when we wake up this morning, we are not sure to be here. So now we play without pressure. We play like we want to play, and now we are in the final. We will be versus a grand nation, Argentina, with Nicolas and Iago, who beat Tekkz. So it will be so difficult to win. But a final we don't play a final. We win a final. So let's see.
I want to say Benjamin Pavard in World Cup. So maybe again.
Now, speaking of Argentina, who you're going to go up against, you do have to face Nicolas, who is the #1 player in PlayStation right now. How are you feeling about that matchup?
Feeling very good. I play him in FIFA Champions Cup 2. I beat him, and he beat me just after. So, yeah, I know he's a great player. He's the best in the world in PS4. So it will be a great game, and I just wait for that.
Now, what about you? You have to go up against the guy who just beat Tekkz, the best Xbox player. How are you? Do you think that's gonna be a good match?
Yeah, if he beat Tekkz in quarterfinal, he's just so good. So let's see if I can take a revenge and beat him, just simply.
Sounds good. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you very much, Anna. Spencer, interesting hearing from the French team there, Dax and Maestro. Very calm now, but they were very, very animated during the games, and during all of their games, in fact.
Yeah, it's Maestro that does the most of the animation on that front. Dax is very cool customer, very calm, collected, although did a bit of a smile on his face when he got that win. I think it was the first time he allowed himself to really enjoy the fact that he's made a final. Love the fact that Maestro mentioned the Benjamin Pavard goal, obviously, that happened in that game between France and Argentina in the World Cup last year. Fantastic goal. He said it might happen again, but he's not going to play Pavard, is he? So how's it going to happen again? Who's he going to do it with?
Very good point. We've got to look at that comeback within the semi-final. We can see some of the scenes here, because this was a big moment in the semi-final, wasn't it? This is Dax's comeback.
Yeah, Portugal found themselves 1-0 up, and it was a game Tuga had to win to take it to the 2v2, as Portugal had lost in the first game. But Dax did what Dax does. That's a fantastic...
That's a bit of a mouthful, though, isn't it? Dax did what Dax does.
A lot of Ds. But it's a fantastic pass from Dax there. He's very good at finding that extra pass in space. Again, with the ball here on the edge of the box against Portugal. No rush from Dax. He waits for a perfect opening. Eye of the needle stuff. Great turn. Maybe keeper will be disappointed he didn't get a stronger hand to that. Look, what a hype man to have in your corner.
What a hype man, yeah. So that is France, so congratulations to France, also Argentina. This is a tough final to call as well, because so many good players within the Argentina and the French team. We can have a look at just some of what Argentina have been doing in this tournament, because they have been fantastic. Both performers as well, Nicolas and Iago, both holding their own in this tournament, Spencer.
Again, coming back from behind, just like France did. That's a sign of a good championship team. Denmark were 1-0 up here. Nicolas did not give it up. And look at it, he scores a goal. He just sort of puts his head to the side like light work. Finds himself 2-1 down.
تكس طلع ومساعد طلع.
performances and get these goals. Eusebio finding Mbappe there, fantastic finish. And this was a crucial point in the game. 2-2 it was. Marcuzo playing a risky pass across his defence, unable to keep the ball under heavy pressure from Argentina. And look at that, Mbappe predicting the goalkeeper movement well there. And Argentina go through once again. This was in the second game. This was Iago's game now against Üstün. And not really clearing the ball properly there, Üstün. Üstün's a great attacking player. Defensively, sometimes lets himself down. And the keeper's let him down a little bit there by not clearing that ball properly. So we had Iago 2-0 up at this point. Relentless, kept going, gets into the box here with Ronaldo. Unbelievable footwork to find space, and then puts it past him to make it 3-0. And that was always going to be hard for Üstün to get back from. He did get a couple of goals in the end, Üstün, but not enough.
Very calm, weren't they? Very calm. Looking at the difference in Argentina and France in regards to the celebrations, very different. Argentina very cool, aren't they?
It was the same story when they beat England as well. Bear in mind that how big that game was. Many people said whoever won that match might win the whole thing. They didn't celebrate overtly. They just sort of said, yeah, good, shook hands. Very respectful, I thought. And I don't know if that's because maybe they're not those sort of characters, or is it because they don't believe they should get excited until they win, or if they win the final.
If they win the final, indeed. So let's just get confirmation of where we're at with the tournament. We are down to just 2 teams, Spencer. It is Argentina against France. What a final that is. I can't call it. I'm glad I don't have to make a prediction. But interestingly, we did ask for your prediction, and you did say at the start of the tournament you went for France, so that could come true.
It could, yeah. I'm probably going to stick with that prediction, obviously. In fairness to a few guys, Richard Buckley said Argentina looked good from the start. And these are the matchups we're going to see now.
Talk us through the individual battles.
First game, very important, very important. You'd say Nicolas has a chance to beat Maestro based on the rankings, but Maestro's been playing very good FIFA recently. You know, won the PlayStation side last week at the FUT Champs Cup. Nicolas wasn't at that tournament, so we didn't get to see them match up there, but we've seen them match up a couple of times this year. And it's gone back and forth between those two. Whoever wins that game, if there is a winner, obviously it could be a draw, it's going to set up the second game nicely. You know what, even though these guys haven't had one for a while, I think this could be a 2v2 fixture.
Do you think it'll go all the way?
I think it could. Well, you've got the Iago DaXe game after that, of course. It's really hard one to call, to be honest. DaXe, when he plays well, I think he's impossible to beat.
Of all the 4 that we're seeing in the final, just quickly, who have you been most impressed with individually? Because they've all had such good tournaments.
It's ebbed and flowed as well, you know, that's what makes this team event so important, because it's not been about any one player carrying the nation. You know, sometimes Maestro's been getting the wins and DaXe has been helped by that. Likewise, it's flipped the other way. Same with Nicolas and Iago. But in terms of their placement on the current leaderboard, who's impressed me the most, I'd probably say Iago, because he's picked up massive wins, including beating #1 ranked in the world,
that Tekkz as well. And of course, we've got to mention huge event, the first ever eNations Cup. We're seeing what it means to these players representing their country, and with the national anthems as well. It's been phenomenal, isn't it?
It's been amazing. You know, and the French Federation obviously is so proud of their boys. I'm sure the Argentinian Federation are as well. The question is who's actually going to be the first ever winner. There'll only ever be one first winner.
There will, won't there?
Yeah, and it's going to be Argentina or France.
And you'll stick with France with your prediction?
I'm going to stick with France, yeah. It makes you look good if they win it, because I said it from the beginning. I also said Germany, who went out in the group stage.
Okay, so it's set. It is France versus Argentina. It is the final. Time for a short break. We will be back at 1600 hours, 1800 hours, 6 o'clock British summertime. See you then.
Dani of the Netherlands, of course a fan favorite in the FIFA team. No matter what team you are playing for, everyone loves you because of your pure emotion. So we thought we'd pull you back out here because we would like to see what your predictions for these final matches are between France and Argentina.
Well, I think Maestro is in a very good form. DaXe is always playing good no matter what. Every tournament he plays good FIFA, always like same level. Argentina surprised me, especially Iago. Nicolas is the best player in the world on the PlayStation. but Jago beat Tekkz. So I think both teams are playing so good, and it's hard to predict. But if I have to choose a team, I think French is going to make it.
We'll see. The French seem to be very excited, but maybe we'll get some emotion out of Nicolas later. Now, what about this first ever FIFA eNations Cup? It's a format we've only ever played one other time, which was in the FIFA eClub World Cup. How are you liking the tournament, and what is your favorite part?
I like it very much because playing in a team is nice in the first place. At the Club World Cup, I played with Joey, my teammate of Ajax, and I liked it so much. But this playing for your full country, all the kids watching you, supporting you, hoping that you do well. It's just not from one club, but from the whole country. And I think, yeah, that's amazing. Everybody wants that.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. It was good to see you.
Thank you.